The Union ships descended onto the Sea Islands into a thunderous storm of bombs and bullets. It was 1862. The U.S. Civil War had just begun. As cannon bombs ripped through the sky, the southern plantation owners fled in panic. The previously enslaved people of the Sea Islands were finally free. The freed people of the Sea Islands, also known as the Gullahs, had been kidnapped from various West African nations and had been sold into slavery on the Sea Island plantations. The Sea Islands were small pieces of land off the coast of South Carolina. Now the plantation owners and their overseers were gone. The freed people celebrated. They tore down the cotton mills. They broke the cotton gins. "No more cotton," they shouted. The Gullahs thought if there were no more cotton mills, there would be no more slavery. The Gullahs look forward to farming vegetables to feed their families. They look forward to living as free people. But the Black Americans of the Sea Islands were not left alone for long. A man named Edward Philbrick had heard about the recently liberated Gullahs. Philbrick was a northern abolitionist from Massachusetts. Philbrick decided it was his mission to help the freed people of the Sea Islands. He convinced the United States government to sell him the land of the Sea Islands at a discounted rate of 52 cents an acre. Philbrick said to his friends, "All those people are living on the Sea Islands with no slave masters. I'll give them new jobs picking cotton. This is very different from slavery because I'll pay them." But Philbrick was wrong. The Gullah never wanted to return to the cotton fields. However, Philbrick wasn't taking no for an answer. Since he owned the land, he tried to control the Gullahs by charging them to use the land. He allowed his quote-unquote superintendents to abuse these Americans with whips and guns. But the Gullahs had finally tasted freedom, and they weren't going to allow Mr. Edward Philbrick, an abolitionist from Massachusetts, to take it away from them. In fact, when the Gullah found out that Philbrick had bought the Sea Island land for 52 cents an acre, they wrote a letter to President Abraham Lincoln. It went something like this: "We wanted to buy this land, but the government sold it to Mr. Philbrick for 52 cents on the dollar. He won't pay us a decent wage, he cheats us, threatens us, and abuses us. We were ready to pay much more than he did. We pray that the government would repurchase the land so we can buy it for ourselves and our families." When Philbrick heard about the Gullah's petition, he was furious. Philbrick wrote President Lincoln a letter himself. He told the president that it wasn't a good idea to give land in charity to people who had been previously enslaved. Philbrick wrote, "If they receive too many things for free, they will not be able to learn the good habits of hard work." For a while, the people of the Sea Island didn't hear back from the president. But the Gullah continued to refuse Philbrick's demands that they return to the cotton fields. A few years later, in 1865, Philbrick finally gave up his cotton enterprise. He sold the land and left the Sea Islands. Later that year, a bill passed. The new law allowed people who had been previously enslaved to receive 40 acres to use and live on. After 3 years, these Americans would be able to purchase the land outright. Thousands of freed people everywhere celebrated. Finally, they would be given the rights to own the land that they had worked on under the brutality of slavery. But their troubles weren't over yet. Thanks for watching Deeper Than Red. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media.